Hello, everybody. Welcome to Remixing the Narrative. Thank you for joining us again this week as we continue to honor amazing women doing amazing things, as always, but definitely for the month of March with Black History Month just ending and us now in Women's History Month. And so today, as you see, is our title, The Queen's Table. And when I was trying to think of a title for the woman I'm about to interview, that's all I could think of. I'm like, she is the epitome of what a queen is. And so we're going to talk about all the amazing things she has going on, the initiative she started and continue to build. And this is really an opportunity for us to not only learn more about Reese, but also just to hear the background and the inspiration behind the things she's doing. So again, the Queen's Table, if you are joining us, share it. If you're watching the replay, definitely leave your comments. And we're going to jump right in. So hello, Reese.
Hello, Mr. or Sister. How are you?
Hi, sister. So I always love to start off with introductions, and so I would love for you to, just kind of share with the people who you are, and we're gonna dive deeper into the nitty gritty, but just a general introduction. Yes.
Sure. So I'm Reese LaFrancis. I am a creative soul. I like to just talk about me first, of who I am before I do what I do. So naturally, I'm a creative soul. I'm a giver and I'm a servant. That's really the crux of who I am as a woman, a believer, light being. And so what I do with all of that, I create platforms that honor and support Black women and men through curated events, service-based initiatives, and leadership lifestyle coaching and consulting. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
I love it. So it goes straight to the next question of like, how did it all start? Like, how did you know that this was like your purpose, your calling, what you were supposed to do? Was it from young age or just kind of navigating through different professions you landed here?
So to be honest with you, it really did start for me very, very young. Grew up, born on the pew, grew up Kojic, right? So not like grandmama to be like my mom. Like I was one of those babies who Sunday all day, you had like 3 services on Sunday, then you had Tuesday night song, Wednesday Bible study, Thursday choir rehearsal, Friday. Right. I was that child, right? So very early on being nurtured in church really developed my leadership skills. It developed me as a speaker. It developed me as a leader. So very early on, I was like writing plays for the youth group. I was a youth leader, reading the announcements over the broadcast. So like literally everything that I have done, I really can credit it back to how instrumental the church was in developing my voice, right? And my desire to serve. It's so funny, even as an adult woman, I was doing something with one of the new businesses that we'll get into. And one of the kings said, I could tell you were raised in church because I see how you went straight to cleaning up. he's like, I can tell you one of them good old church women because he said you went straight to he said you went straight to putting the food away and closing up everything, cleaning up. I was like, oh my God. And so, I really got started initially in the church, and my mentor and who I affectionately call my mother's sister, her name is Cherese V. Morrison. She founded an organization called Demoiselle to Femme. And I was one of the first original 14 girls that she started with in the basement of our church. And at the time, she was just answering a need. She did not approach it like, hey, I'm ready to start this nonprofit organization. She just was like, she saw a need and she started, right? And so that organization started in 1994. And by the time I became an adult at 21, I got hired on to start working with the organization as an outreach specialist. And my work history pretty much was with Demoiselle de Femme, working with young women ages 13 and 19, doing implementing curriculum in the high schools with teenage girls, doing mentorship, college tours. So that's how it all started, right? It's really, I tell people I'm able to lead because I know what it means to follow, right?
Yes.
Long, and sometimes people forget that. I didn't just pop up to lead. Like Even the league started off as an initiative with Demoiselle to Femme. Same thing, same journey. It didn't start off like, oh, I'm getting ready to do this bomb organization. I was answering the call to a need, right? And so my mentor, after almost 25 years of service, started talking about she was ready to transition and go on to her next part. And she challenged me and she asked me a question about who's the next person, who's the next me to rally millennial women and put out that clarion call of service to millennial women. And she teases, she said, you know, the millennials are a selfie generation. It's all about the self, right? You know, what am I doing? How much I'm making, where I'm eating, who I'm with, right? And she said, you know, and so I took that conversation as a challenge. And from that conversation, the league was born, right? And it was really born as an initiative to support Demoiselle to Femme. So I had no vision that it was going to really turn into the organization that it's now really being developed and structured to really become. And so, yeah, that's like the journey of how I got started. So from church to Demoiselle to Femme, from building that organization and following my mentor and serving her for almost 20 years. And then from that conversation, wanting to provide an opportunity to collectively bring high performing leaders together to serve. And that's what led then to the league.
I love it. So I today was thinking about like, man, when I think of Reese, like what are some things that stand out? And this came to mind, roses versus thorns. And why that came to mind is that even during this time of the pandemic, you know, and I joined the league and right after like all the world went crazy. Right? But I see your walk and I see your life and I see the way you pour. And I really believe that you embody that to me, like how we can look at things and how we can look at the thorns of it or we can focus on the roses.
Right.
I would love for you to speak to that. Even, you know, your posts and everything are just so much about like looking at that and looking at the bigger picture of things and just how you can use these times for growth. I would love to just, when you hear that, what sticks out to you?
So what sticks out for me is I said very early on, and I think I said it a few years back at one of our award ceremonies, there's a difference between a good idea and a God idea.
Yes.
And a lot of times with either, you're going to have thorns, right? And in those moments, how you handle them is going to show whether or not you thought it was a good idea or a God idea.
Ooh, yes.
Right? Right? Yeah. So what I had to realize, because the league was built on a foundation. This was, like I said, this was a God. This is foundational women of faith, right? I built this on top of somebody else. And then so that someone can build it on top of my faith, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So when I got to the thorn part, right, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. When those thorns, when I had to grab it right here at those thorns, it was a lot. And let me stop moving so much because I think my internet is dragging and lagging a little bit. But okay. One of the things that I will tell people, especially in leadership, I love this quote, and I think about it all the time by Lauryn Hill. It says, they'll hail you and they'll nail you no matter who you say. It says, Jesus Christ was a superstar. They'll hail you and they'll nail you no matter who you are. One of the things that you cannot allow yourself to do is to get caught up into the success or the failure of it.
Yes.
Right? You're gonna have highs. Everybody, baby, when you high, everybody love you. Everybody want to be around you. Everybody want to try to get close to you, right? And then when you hit that low, people be like, oh, okay, it becomes a thing, right? So one of the things that I have been learning is not to take it to heart, right? Those are one of the things as a leader that you have to learn. And you're going to have thorns, right? And I don't think that sometimes we think because we are called that that automatically means that that may look different or the work may be easier, or and it's really not the case. You are going to have to really, without a shadow of a doubt, believe that you have a God idea. And let me tell you something too. You have to be mindful of even who you allow to speak over you.
Yes.
Those thorns pop up, right? Yes. Because when you have a God idea, once again, when those thorns come, that's really going to be the determining factor of whether or not you truly believe it's a good idea or a God idea. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people have good ideas, and when good ideas don't work, a lot of people will tell you to walk away. Girl, you ain't got to do that no more, girl. If you don't want to do it, mm-hmm. if you don't like it no more, if you ain't love it no more, walk away. Well, that's because most people haven't established anything bigger than them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you know God has birthed something bigger than you don't just get to walk away because it got hard. You don't just get to walk away because it's no longer easy. You don't get to just walk away because now you are in the season of experiencing the thorns, right? Exactly. I would have to say, as I transition to coming with knowing how to prune my thorns, know that the thorns are only going to make you. They make you, they develop your emotional intelligence. They develop your intellectual humility, that you don't know everything. You don't know it all, right? It helps you to create boundaries. I mean, so the thorns are necessary, but don't let the thorns kill you, right? Everything has a season.
Yep.
Everything has a season. Yep. So don't get too frantic with the roses, because the thorn season.
You know they coming.
It's coming. Coming. It's coming. But also know that you're going to bloom again. That season is going to come back around again. And that's the hard part, right? Having to be quiet in the thorn season.
Yeah.
Because we're in such a society that you feel like you have to be sharing everything all the time. So when you're in that thorn season and you have to be quiet and God is pruning you and he's developing you, that can be difficult. That can be difficult because, you know, you don't have anything to say. Look at me, look at what I'm, and you just like, okay, this is kind of a little bit, I didn't know that this was what was on, you know? And so I've had to learn. Last year was a quiet season for me. Like, I just was like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. This, you know, and I had to be quiet. I had to sit down. I cried a lot. I journaled a lot, meditated a lot. And until God gave me the vision for what was next. And I did, and I was the type of person, I didn't care what nobody thought. Until God told me what to do next, I was moving.
Yeah.
So if people, well, this happened and that happened, and we don't know what happened, God said, shh, when it's time, you'll know, right? And so we have to be still and know. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah.
Be still and know. Trust me, nothing's going to pass you by. No opportunity, no money, no blessing. When God tells you to be still, because there's something he wants to teach you. There's areas he wants to develop you. And I promise you, if you allow yourself to go through that thorn season, maybe your roses are going to bloom even more bright and more beautiful than the first season. So that's what I would have to say about the roses versus the thorns.
I love it. People are saying yes, they are in agreement, and I think it's so true because, like you said, we live in a society where it's for the likes and it's for the followers and it's for like, am I popular? And like you said, if you're used to being that leader, what happens when he sits you down? You know,
yes,
it's really difficult. You know,
because you start questioning yourself, right? You start questioning like, well, am I a leader? Like, you know what I'm saying? Am I called to do this? You know. The enemy will definitely begin to work on your psyche, and he will send people to dig in to make you question, right? Things will
Mm.
start to fall apart, which is why when you're in that thorn season, baby, you got to get real particular about who you allow in your ear and about who you allow to speak into your vision, support you. I'm thankful that when I went through that season last year, I had about 2 to 3 strong counselors, who I would share with and who were able to really walk with me and journey with me through my thorn season.
Yeah.
Because once again, a lot of people will tell you when things get rough to give it up, to walk away. And I needed people who knew my vision was bigger than me and was like, nah, sis, you can't walk away from this. You've created something bigger than you. You don't get to throw it away now because it gets tough. And I needed that. But sis, I ain't gonna lie, I was ready to be like, hey, I could do something else. And which I did. So I did create something else myself, but still I knew that I still had to be responsible with what God had given me. And I know the league is my heart work, my HEART work. My new baby that I created is my heart work. It's where the money resides. But the league is where my love for humanity resides. And it will always be my hard work. And it's okay. That's the other thing. And I'm probably just rambling on and on, but people, it's okay to have hard work. I know everybody wants you to create things so that you can make 6 figures, so you can tell everybody that you're a millionaire. I didn't create the league for that purpose. And I have no intentions to ever stunt like that on the league, to say, listen, I built a million. That wasn't my goal. My goal was to honor millennial Black women or young Black women of color and to galvanize us to serve. That was my intention. To this day, it's still my number one intention. And it's okay when God gives you something, however he gives it to you, to go after it. I don't care what nobody else's platform is. My platform is not, now, don't get me wrong, over in Kingmaker, I'm gonna make a little money now.
Right.
Listen, 6 figures and 7, I'd be saying 7, 8 figures, okay? The league is really my hard work. It's where my philanthropy is. It's where my love for humanity lies. And I think it's nothing wrong with having those areas. And God will give you wisdom in all things on how all of your needs will be met when he calls you to do something. So
I love it. And that goes perfectly because we're gonna get into your hard work. So like the power of sister and brotherhood. And I think what I love about this is I think a lot of times, especially when we're like Women's History Month, women leaders and stuff like that, we can neglect that there's power in both sisterhood and brotherhood. And I just know even in my journey of building my org, it's definitely some influential women and men who have like really been like that tribe for me and helping me to make sure my that I stay encouraged, like you said, giving me those hard talks. So really, I think, especially when we get to your 2 babies, like you created the league, but then you also have Kingmaker. So like, even when I saw you unveil, actually dope because one, it's a woman leading this initiative of really helping men. So tell me this kind of like, how do you feel? Is it? I mean, for some women who may be watching, like, man. Sometimes we feel like maybe that's not my lane to be in here trying to do this thing for the men. Like, let the men do it, let the women do their thing. So, kind of, where's your stance on that?
Well, actually, when I started the league, I actually had a lot of men come to me and ask me, "So where's the men's league at?" I had several men, and so I used to take that approach. Actually, Dream, I used to say, "Well, I'm not a man, so y'all need to start it, and I'll help you all." And excuse me, I'll never forget, one of the brother kings told me, he said, men don't do things like this for other men. So if this is going to ever come about, a sister gonna have to kick it off. And at the time, I was just getting started with the league. So I didn't even really I didn't know what that looked like, right? So I had early on played around with the thought of having a brother league, like the young men's professional league, right? And I had some conversations with some men, and that kind of fell flat. And like I said, I was really in the meat of trying to really stabilize and develop what the league was going to be. And then last year, when I got quiet And I realized I had been like giving. And like I said, the league is my heart work, right? And to me, the league is really like ministry for me.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I came to the conclusion of, how do I want to show up in the marketplace? My whole life has been nonprofit. My whole life has been service. I never really stepped out to say, but what's my marketplace? How do I want to show up in the marketplace? Because I connect nonprofit with ministry, because
Yeah.
most of mine started off as ministry, which
Yeah.
is why when I went into the league, I didn't have like a profit plan, or I didn't have any. I wanted to minister, to honor women, and then collectively have us minister to other young women, in a sense, right? Without
Right.
right. But then I said, you know what? I want to do something marketplace. I have some skills that are marketable, that are profitable. How do I want to utilize those skills to do something business wise? And I said, you know what? I've been working with women my entire life, and the men have been asking for something. And I promise you, God just downloaded it to me. And I was like, oh, yeah. And so, to be honest with you, this is also why God uses it all, y'all. I don't mean to get too overly churchy or preachy, but actually, I knew I could do what I do with the Kingmaker because I actually had an opportunity to do it with an ex who I was dating at the time, right? I had put together this master class for him, did all the branding, did all the marketing, had done his website, kind of was doing his admin work. So at that point, I knew that it was necessary. Now, at this time, when I did all that for him, I had no idea that I was going to start the Kingmaker, right? But that's what I mean about God uses it all. So even though that relationship ended, I believe that was the benefit, right?
Exactly.
God used that situation to show me that I had some marketable skills that could really support our brother kings, right? And so I got a group of some high profile men in Chicago together. I did a focus group. I pitched it to them, and they were like, we love it. We love it. We need it. We love it. And so basically, the Kingmaker Concierge is a membership based company that provides business and lifestyle services to its members. And so we basically manage tasks. We help them to improve efficiency, and basically save them time to improve their overall quality of life. So it's really all about saving them time. So I have a little tagline that I say. I have a few, but one of them is, every man deserves to feel like a king. Let us adjust your crown. So it's not about us making you. We just here to adjust it a little bit, give you some of your time back. How can we show up and support you? You know, and then, one of my other tags that we use is no rest in the kingdom, question mark. Let us help you sleep better at night, knowing that your tasks have been handled. So it's really about being able to give our men some time back. So guess what? They can be with their wives.
Exactly.
And so that was somebody who like, hey, plan a vacation for, yes, you need to take your wife out. It's the anniversary. Yes, make sure you got her a gift, So it's really just to be able to support our brother kings. And so I'm excited about it. And whatever I don't do, what's so cool is, guess what? I got 200 sisters who I can say, hey, I don't do that, but let me make sure I get such and such on it, right? And so it just was a perfect marriage of the two in my mind, where I have now this, I've already created this pool of women who now can support our brother kings, And so, yeah, it has been amazing. And my official launch was September of 2021. So I'm not even 6 months old yet. And when I say God has just blessed, I have some great high profile members, businessmen in Chicago who, I'm debating if I want to say some names or not, but from radio personalities to business owners, it's been really good. The men in Chicago have really responded well to it. Real estate, I have some top real estate professionals. Like I said, radio personality, business owner, chain business owners, a lot. So it's been really dope. It's been really dope.
And is it like an age requirement? Is it like it's just
No, it's not. So what it is there's a
okay?
membership fee. You pay the membership fee. The membership fee includes, if you pay the monthly fee, it includes 4 hours of concierge service, right? You can have me on call from 8 a.m. or our company on call from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday for up to 4 hours of service, right? It also includes your monthly Kings Club experience, which is a curated experience that I do every month for the members to come to network, hang out. It comes with a seasonal cuisine, high-end drinks, and I usually theme them. So this month we're doing a Caribbean carnival theme. So and they're gonna have some plantation rum, and it's really, really nice. And then it also includes your King's kit, which is just a little black box of products and services, all geared towards men. So for the membership, you get quite a bit. So like I said, you get 4 hours of concierge services, business or lifestyle. So for somebody that could be a flyer, for somebody that could be running an errand, whatever that looks like, right? You get your monthly experience where you get to come and hang out with the other kings, and then you also get your King's kit. So that's
that is awesome.
Yeah. So and it's no age requirement. As long as you pay the membership, you in.
I love it. It's in the chat. Someone's like, I can definitely see God expanding you, blessings upon you.
Thank you. Thank you.
God expand your territory. I just think it's amazing because again, I think a lot of times, like you said, that good idea versus that God idea. You know, and a lot of times he will bless that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I honestly too believe that he blesses the Kingmaker as well, because I didn't throw away the league for the Kingmaker, right? I wasn't like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I honor that even in this difficult space, and even though I wanted to do something else, I did not have the right to just be like, yeah, well, not, because here's the thing, baby. Ultimately, I'm a creator, baby. I can create some stuff now. You know what I'm saying? That's as they say, respectfully, okay? Respectfully. I know I am ultimately, God has not just the creative, but God has really called me to be a creator. You know, one of my strengths is being futuristic. If you do Strength Finders, that's my number one gift, is being futuristic. So when people ask me, like, how did you even come up with the Kingmaker? I be like, it's my gift. It's a part of my strengths of who I am. And knowing that sometimes it could be easy to discard the last thing and move on to the next, because I know I'm good at being able to create. But I knew the league was not one of those things because of the foundation of what it was built on. It was built on faith. It was built on a legacy of women who had nurtured me, who had nurtured my faith from a church that was built on faith. You know what I'm saying? And so in that regard, no matter how difficult the journey gets with the league, and just because you may not see me be as vocal or whatever, no matter how difficult the journey gets with the league, that is my legacy, and it will always be something I fight for, right? So, and I believe that's why God has blessed the Kingmaker the way he has, is because I have honored that call when it comes to the league.
I agree. Someone said, I think I found my husband's anniversary gift.
Yes. Why? Sign them up. And I tell people, because I've had, people question like, well, how wives feel? I'm like, they should feel good. So,
right.
So they can be like, shoot me a side text like, Reese. Hey, I said, if I was a wife, I would definitely be signing some people up, because summer is coming up. This is an opportunity, even to like I said, send me a side text and be like, hey, tell him to plan us a picnic and have you like, I'm so serious, and or just to be that help, because some of you all even know with your men, they try to pull you into it, and then you like
what you want to do? What? You know what?
We gotta hire somebody to help you, because you ain't gonna be coming here fussing at me, talking about why. No, you know what I'm saying? First thing the husband want to do is make you the secretary, and you be like, I just want to be the wife, and I can't take on secretary. And so that's really what the Kingmaker Concierge does. It helps to give him that time, so that he's not looking to vet or have to research. That's my job. That's our job. Even if we don't take care of it in-house, it's my job to vet it and then book it, right? So that it takes all of the questions out of it. And so, yeah, absolutely. Send the husbands. Come on, I got your back, Queen. I got you.
So I want to go, and you already spoke to it about the league. And let me say this, like from the outside looking in, and I'm sure many people who are watching who've seen it over the years, what attracted me to it is that not only, I grew up wanting to be like in a sorority, and things like that. Different circumstances, I didn't do it. But what I love so much about the league versus other organizations was just I saw the genuineness of the relationships, the service, and just really caring about the people that's in that space. And just like I came to a few different events before even becoming a part of the league, workshops of just like professional development and personal development. It's like, wow, this is a space that cares about you from the inside out. You know what I mean? It's not just about your dues and doing this. I really want to see you be your best self, and we're going to together become our best selves. And so, and we got a few people, I'll get the questions in a second, but I guess the first thing I was thinking was, I know you said this was really like a heart thing for you. So I know that probably during this transitional time, because now you're just the founder, CEO, not, president. How is that? Like, how is that? It's kind of like an inside question. Like, how does it feel? Because I feel like we're all excited about where we're moving, but I also believe that how there's an affinity towards people who led something, and then how are they going to still be a part of that? I don't believe that women became a part of the league because of you per se. Right. But they love the way you walk, and they love the way you move, and the way you love. And so how has that been like a tug, knowing that this is this new thing, but like you said, you're always going to be committed to the league?
You know what? It feels different, because, and I'll be really honest, it feels different because I am handing over that part to Monique, that the sisterly part, to put on the business hat, and that feels different.
Yeah,
it does, right? Because when you have to be in business mode, it's not as woo woo woo. Come on, sisters. Yes, how y'all feel? And of course, that's how my leadership initially started off, right? It was very open, communal. How do we want to do this? I'd be the first one like, I don't know. I was the honest leader. I don't have no idea. I ain't have no clue. And I would say that and that whole piece, right? And so in this transition, which Monique is the perfect, I couldn't have thought
of so wonderful
president, right? With a better spirit, personality, and vibe and energy to still carry on that sisterly energy while I get to transition into the business side of the league. Right? And that feels different, right? So that means a lot of times my boundaries are a little different now. So I'm not as touchable now, or I'm not as, what I'm saying? So not only is it a transition for me, it's a transition for a lot of the league members, right? Because they're like, Reese acting funny. It's like, I'm not. I promise you I'm not. I still love my sisters, but it takes a different energy when you have to go into business, right? Yeah. Business is a lot less about how we feel about something, right? Yeah. This is the structure, this is the process, this is how it has to get done. How you feel about it, you may not feel good about it, but it still requires it to get done, right? Yeah. And so sometimes that's a transition. So it's been a transition. And having to work through it, having to work through the feels of it, right? But I couldn't stay the sister if I wanted the league to grow. I had to be able to transition to the businesswoman and put my business hat on to move the lead to something else, which a lot of times does require you to be more in the background,
Yeah.
requires you to be less touchable, requires you to be, have your little pocket, like, requires a different level of training, requires a different level of accountability. And for some people that can be really difficult. For me, it was. I love my sisters. I loved um saying, hey, let's, meet me for coffee. I think one year and we were at 100 and something, and my advisor was like, why in the world are you telling the women you're going to be with every last one of them this year? You want to have a one-on-one with every sister? Because that was just me. That was my heart. Do you know what I'm saying? But now in this position, that's just not feasible, right? We're at 200 women. We've inducted 200 women now, and it's been good. It's been good. It's been, nothing comes without a challenge. That's when God gives you anything, nothing comes without a challenge. And I'm going to tell you, as you grow in business, things are going to change. Things are going to shift. People are going to feel a way about it. You have to stay focused on the vision. For me, it was more important that the mission continue than how people felt about how I needed to move it, right? How people felt about me personally. You can feel however you want to feel about me. I knew God had given me something impactful.
Yeah.
And so that means it's greater than me. So here's one thing about leadership. A great leader knows when to move, when they're, what they've created needs something, even if that thing is no longer them. Every great leader knows when whatever they created needs something, even if that thing that they need is no longer them.
Yeah.
And so I realized I had become too emotionally connected to it, right? And so it became personal. Here's the thing I had to tell people. I'm a person the league is not. I have feelings, the league does not. The league is an organization. It doesn't have feelings. It needs structure. It needs processes. So I had to pull myself out of it so that I could move into that side of it, right? The structure, the process, and not the, who don't like me? Why they say that? But why would they do that? Because I tried to get... So I had to get that part of it, because that's sisterly relationships, right? That's what sisters do, right?
Yep.
So I had to be like, okay, you got to come up after with the sisters, and so and once again, I got quiet and worked with some people, and God gave us the whole elected leadership. And so Monique was elected as president. We have Taisha as our VP of membership services, and we have a VP of our service initiatives. So we have a whole cabinet now where they get to. I told Monique, she manages the sisters, I manage the business. And so that's kind of, and we're still learning how that looks and what that works like. So stay tuned.
Yes.
I don't have nothing. So hey, it's gonna look how I look until it look like something different. That's what but I know we here. That's what I do know. I know we ain't going nowhere. So that's what I do know. Yep.
Awesome. We are coming towards the end, but I always want to just ask, like, what are some advice you may have? Because as people have heard you, and we didn't even get to like life coaching, you do so much, Reese. Just what would be your advice for those who are those aspiring entrepreneurs, whether that's nonprofit business, that you would want to just leave as that jewel? And you definitely left some things today already.
Yeah. Know who you are. Like, seriously know who you are. A lot of times we allow our titles and our ego to shape who we are instead of who we are shaping those titles, right? And when you don't know who you are, people can sell you anything. I tell people that nowadays people have for people or pimping their pain, right? So when you don't know who you are and you have not dealt with your trauma or really knowing how to be your authentic self, it allows people to pimp either your pride because you think now that you got this, you got that, and so now you want to do this, or your pain, right? People will play off of your pain because you're looking for people to validate you.
Yep.
You're looking for people to validate you. I'm gonna tell you now, if the only reason you want to get into business and you think if you're hard on with public validation, do not become an entrepreneur, because the seasons will ebb and flow. There will be times when you are on the mountaintop and people will love you, and there'll be times when the valley low. Once again, know who you are, know your why. You always hear people say that, know your why. My why is what keeps me connected to the league, because I believe that my vision of being the first Black CFW, Chicago Foundation for Women, where Black women are giving away millions of dollars for organizations. I still believe that. That's my mission. That's my overall mission of what I eventually want the league to be, and the league to be in all these different states, right? Have a vision, have a plan, build on something bigger than you, bigger than your name. It's never been Cherese Purnell in the Young Women's Professional League. For the most part, I really tried to play to the back of it as much as I could, allow, as an entrepreneur, what is something that even if you left here tomorrow, someone would want to pick up and carry it? That's when you know that's when you know you got a God idea.
Yeah.
That if tomorrow you died, somebody wanted to pick it up and carry it, which is why I am so honored that with this transition, even with Monique wanting to pick it up and run with it, and then the next person and the next person after that, it's an honor to have created something bigger than me, right? And as an entrepreneur, I would challenge you to consider that with whatever you're starting, right? There's a lot of things you can do to make money, build legacy. Don't just think money, think legacy, right? Legacy. And so get around some good coaches, research, all the things they tell you, but mine from the spiritual aspect of it. Know who you are, know your why, what your mission is, and while you get into the money, also make sure you're building legacy. Legacy. So that would be my advice.
I love it. I'm gonna ask these two quick questions. Someone
yes.
What is the going rate for the Kings Concierge? Like, what's the membership?
So our monthly membership is $279 a month.
Okay.
And if you can do biannual and annual. With the biannual and annual, you get more hours a month and you get more days a month. So like biannual, you get instead of 4 hours, you get 6 hours a month, and you get 8 to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So I would also answer the calls on Saturday. If you go ahead and pay your whole year up front, which is you get a little bit of a discount. If you pay your whole year up front, you get 8 hours a month, and I'm on call 7 days a week. So Monday through, Sunday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that means you can pick up the phone on a Sunday. I do have a annual member. So they called me on a Sunday afternoon. I'm in the house cleaning. They pick up the phone, say, hey, I need you to make a call for me. Yep, right on it. Hung up the phone, made the call, made that happen. So you can go to our website, though, www.thekingmakerconcierge.com. And all of the information is there. If you have any questions, you can, send a message or inbox me. But pretty much it's pretty detailed right there on the box. Also, I'll put in the comments too how you can join our mailing list.
Yeah.
Stay up to date as well.
Awesome. And then the next question they asked was about the league. Do you have to be a Chicago resident to be a part of the league?
So for now, yes. But let me test this new year. That's what if we can, this year is a prototype for us, because once we can see that our constitution and our presidency and all of that works, my goal is to start dropping chapters in other states. So this definitely is like a trial year for us. We're doing some testing of our constitution, of our new executive leadership, and hopefully next year we'll be announcing some presidents in our new states that we'll be going to. So let us pray. That's
Yeah.
that's why it's cool to transition to the CEO now, because then I get to have women who can be presidents and run those sisterly spaces, and not just Chicago. But we have Atlanta and DC and LA and Houston and wherever else we want to go. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
So in closing, for Women's History Month, I asked everyone to shout out a queen. So
Okay.
it is either present day person, maybe someone from the past that you would just say, like, let me just give them their flowers. Well, it could be multiple people, but just like,
okay. I was like, well, I'm gonna get in trouble.
right? Like she picked two.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna get in trouble if I say something about the others. Okay. So I'm going to do I'm going to start with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is an amazing queen. My cooking, my love for hospitality, my faith, my resilience, all of that is from watching that queen. Is watching her really be a good queen. I grew up in a home of faith. You know, yeah, my mom did an awesome job. So first shout out to my mom for just helping me get the foundation. My second person I'd have to say would be who I mentioned before, my mother's sister, Sharita Morrison, who has been my mentor since I was 14. I definitely have to shout out to her. She grounded me in what our Demoiselle to Femme motto is, and it's femininity, charm, etiquette at its best, poise, elegance, beauty, and finesse. And so, because I've been saying that since I was 14, I have learned to embody it.
Yeah.
And because of her, that I have this fire to serve. And so she nurtured that. She saw the leadership in me and she pressed me. And then last but not least, I have to shout out a woman who has become my spiritual guide. And her name is Icha Devi Ra. She has been instrumental in these last few years of spiritually being able to ground me and help me connect with my spirit and spirituality in a different way. I told you I was very church, but I also have studied metaphysics and some different things in my life coaching practice. And she's been very instrumental in that. And so those are three queens I like to shout out, and what they call it, a shout out to to an ancestor. I love me some Maya Angelou, girl. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
But when I think of her, it's like that's what I think of when I think of myself in legacy, how I want to be remembered, right? I don't want to be remembered just because I made six figures. Like, I want to be remembered because I really was like impactful. Like, I spoke with wisdom.
Yeah.
Like, every time she spoke with such wisdom and
elegance. Atmosphere, that space.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I want people to say about me. I'm gonna have these coins too. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what I want people to say first about me. I want them to be able to be like, man, that was a wise woman. You know what I'm saying? Just wisdom, bro. Like, to just sit at her feet, you would just be like, oh my God. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And so I have to shout out to her. She is one of the ancestors who I really pattern myself or think about when I think about legacy, how I choose to how I want to be remembered when I transcend to my next adventure out this life.
Well, Reese, I've loved this time. This has been beautiful. People say they love the conversation. I personally feel fed. You definitely said some things that stood out. And as y'all see why it's entitled the Queen's Table. Like, we just put up a seat and just took it all in.
Come on. And the Queen, don't listen. Stay on your throne. Don't ever get off. Stay on your throne. It's your table. Don't ever forget that. So you get to choose who sits, who eats, who's invited, who's not. It's your table. You're the queen. So don't forget that. Don't forget that, y'all.
I love it. Well, thank you, Reese. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you more.
All right. And take care of you all till next week. Bye-bye.